Let's get going. The ANC has pledged its support for President Cyril Ramaphosa after he announced his plan to have the Public Protector's report placed on judicial review. Busisiwe Mkhwebane found Ramaphosa misled Parliament regarding a donation by Bosasa to his party's, or in fact to his party presidential campaign. ANC spokesperson Pule Mabe spoke to ENCA reporter Gervin Whittles at Luthuli House today.
We have already issued a statement on Saturday wherein we indicated that the President should be accorded the necessary space to study the report and, of course, where possible, consider some of the options, including and but not limited to a judicial review. The President has accordingly acted to exercise his own rights, which are provided for in law, to take that report for judicial review. It is important that we allow the process that the President has elected to follow, which process is legal and permitted by law to undertake that. So we are not preemptive on what would become or not become of the outcomes of that. I think what we should all be taking solace out of all of this is that the President himself has restated his respect of Chapter 9 institutions, because these institutions are established by the Constitution, and they have got every right to do and conduct their work. Individuals who could be stated by whatever investigation or report that is produced by these Chapter 9 institutions also have got the right to exercise their own right. They also have got that space to exercise their own right.
And the President also mentioned that he had been receiving a lot of people being concerned about the findings of the Public Protector's report, and thus found it necessary to make this public statement, saying that also he didn't want the review to distract the government from doing its work, and specifically the cleanup of the state. Do you foresee that this judicial review would have an impact on how the government does its work, on the ANC's work?
Well, I can tell you now that the commitment expressed by our President to move this country further forward, working together with the able men and women that have been deployed to the National Executive, including those who are in the National Assembly. It's a commitment that we in the ANC made when we rolled out our manifesto to grow South Africa. This manifesto is now a compact between us and the citizens of this country. So we are not going to be moving away from the work that must be done. The immediate task is to make sure that, one, we assure our people that we are serious about stamping out corruption and act of malfeasance. Two, we are serious about dealing with underdevelopment. Thirdly, we're also serious about addressing poverty and the status of our own economy. Now, for us to be able to achieve all of those, we need a government that is in concert, that works together, that is united behind this mission. We need the National Assembly, lawmakers there who are driving forward policies which will be able to transform and change society for the better.
The President said there were a number of other candidates which had raised quite a substantial amount of money in the run-up to the ANC's Nasrec conference. Just for clarity, does the ANC have any rules which determine how candidates can raise funds and how much money they can raise, and which processes they have to follow when raising those funds?
Well, the expectation from the ANC has always been that in the different ways that our comrades carry forward lobbying, whether it's for positions of leadership in structures and all of that, that we are guided by through the eye of the needle, making sure that in whatever we do not compromise the values of the African National Congress, that in whatever we do, we all act to contribute towards the renewal and the unity of our own organization. Of course, at various conferences, comrades coming from branches and provinces would have their different preferences. That is their democratic choice. But once you leave conference, having agreed on who becomes the leader, all of you must rally behind that leader who shall have emerged through a democratic process. Of course, during comrades, as they lobby for whom they would want to see emerging, there would be a number of activities that are undertaken, whether it's memorial lectures here, whether it's activist forums there, and all of that, in whatever ways and forms that our own comrades carry forward campaigning in our own structures. Such must never erode the values of the African National Congress.
But are there any disclosure mechanisms which compel candidates to reveal who they sourced money from? I'm asking exactly how does the ANC ensure that such large sums of money, hundreds of millions of rands, is not raised from unscrupulous sources?
Well, just to assist you, Gavin, we must agree here that the processes of the ANC and how the ANC deals with its own internal campaigning for leadership and all of that, those are a preview of the organization, and that this organization would have an NEC this coming weekend. Should the ANC feel a need to restate what it has restated in the past as it relates to how comrades are supposed to be undertaking some of these activities, the organization shall do so, so that we in the ANC are not drawn now into what is out there in the public and end up compromising a process that our own president has already spoken to. I mean, there is a review that is being undertaken. We should be allowing that process that is being undertaken to fall through and not find ourselves introducing new issues on top of that, because once we do that, it could be a diversion from what needs to be addressed. As matters stand, there is a public protector's report. The president has taken the nation into his confidence yesterday, has gone further to say that he's going on a judicial review, has raised his discomfort on the report. We in the organization have also come out a day before stating our support of the president of the ANC, because we believe that he must be given the space he needs to be able to discharge his obligations of leading the people of this country.